Hi everyone, Global's first exclusive boss rush is upon us, and the video here covers a two-party non-synergy run across all three waves. The first party is really a favorite of mine, and it's a combination of Garnet, Cissnei and Terra. The good thing about this party is that you don't really have to soft reset a lot. The only requirement is that Cissnei needs to start first, which shouldn't take a lot of soft resets. I gave Cissnei the Seed Rain's friend support as well, mainly so that she can quickly charge the summon meter at the start, as well as to provide turn manipulation so that Garnet and Terra can go after her. Otherwise, this party is very straightforward to play. All I do is go additional ability into LD on Cissnei, and then on Garnet's turn, she can complete the summon meter by going Peridot Thunder Flash first, and then going into the usual additional ability into BT+, not forgetting the General Leo LD call for the call aura. Hypercharging the summon meter quickly and going into summon mode as quickly as possible is quite useful in this fight, mainly because both Garnet and Cissnei won't really get many other turns in the fight, which also means that once you pop Ifrit summon, both Garnet and Cissnei will be able to get Ifrit's buff, which also boosts their damage for the rest of the fight as well. So with the summon meter fully charged, I just pop Garnet's BT+ before I go into summon mode. Inside summon mode, it is also very important with this party not to let Garnet or Cissnei get another turn for the entire first wave, because you actually want to preserve Ifrit's buff for as long as possible. For that reason, I go into Terra's LD right here. In terms of call abilities, I also purposely did not set both Kate Sith or Sars call, because the intent is to actually only allow Cissnei to be the only critical damage dealer in the entire party, and that's mainly for orb control on wave 2, but I'll get more into that when we get into wave 2. Otherwise, in terms of gear, I also have to note that my party here is pretty well equipped. Both Cissnei and Garnet has 5/5 ultimate weapon, and Terra herself I believe has a 2/5 ultimate weapon as well. If you don't have that many of the ultimate weapons, it's actually okay. Even if you can't go as far as this team, your second party can actually take up some slack, because there is quite a bit of leeway where the second party is concerned, so don't worry too much about how far your first party brings you. So I'm coming to the end of the summon meter, and the bosses of wave 1 are already almost dead, so essentially I'm just finishing them off with Terra's LD-Meltdown spam. Okay, so coming to wave 2, it is highly likely that Garnet and Cissnei will start before Terra gets a turn, and likely Bahamut will also get a turn, but that's okay. That is actually why we do not allow both Garnet and Cissnei to get another turn on wave 1, so that when they get one turn each here, Ifrit's buff will still remain on them with one turn duration remaining. Now that I'm back on Terra's turn, I'm still continuing on with the LD-Meltdown spam. The only thing here on wave 2 is that you need to keep careful eye on the Lufenia Orb on Bahamut, because you do need to prepare for Mega Flare later on. So at 79%, right here the Lufenia Orb will appear, so this is where you need to keep careful eye. Because Cissnei is the only critical damage dealer in the entire party, this means that every attack I do will +3 the orb, like so. When the orb hits 11 count right here, this is where you want to do the Warrior of Light LD call on Terra to get the LD call aura and shields up, and this will be your main defense against Mega Flare. So when the orb hits 15, like right here, the orb will actually cancel. However, when it cancels, it also triggers a turn warp for Bahamut and also Mega Flare attack from Bahamut. But because you've used Warrior of Light LD call, you will be taking 0 damage, and the remaining shields will protect you for his next 2 consecutive turns. So right after this, I go straight into Warrior of Light base call just to refresh the shields of the entire party, and I immediately go into burst mode with Terra. This is the best timing to go into burst mode with Terra, and the main reason behind burst mode here is that I want to actually trigger the next Mega Flare attack while Warrior of Light LD call aura is up. So the burst mode here is to actually do many consecutive turns of damage without reducing the LD call aura count. When Bahamut reaches 49%, the same thing will happen again. The Lufenia Orb will appear, and you want to uptick it to 15 using Cissnei's critical often damage, and that way you will once again trigger Mega Flare right after Terra finishes her burst mode. So this is Bahamut's second and final Mega Flare and consecutive turns, but because I've refreshed Warrior of Light's base call and shields before Terra's burst mode, you can very comfortably tank the entire rotation right here, and Terra will then be able to continue with her LD-Meltdown spam. So at this point, just try to get as far as possible on Bahamut, so I'm just using all my final turns to whittle down Bahamut's HP. And very nicely, on my final turn, I actually managed to kill off Bahamut with first party, which means that party 1 actually brought me all the way to wave 3, and this allows a lot of flexibility on party 2. If Bahamut remains at say 10% HP or so, it doesn't really matter, just bring in party 2 and spend the first 10 actions or so to kill off Bahamut. Coming to wave 3 right here, the main issue in wave 3 is that the Alvarets are immune to all forms of debuffs, and they also have a stacking buff that they grant themselves, I believe, every 10 player actions or so, and as the stack increases, so do the stats of the Alvaret. So in a way, you want to quickly kill them off without relying too much on debuffs since they are immune. And for this reason, party members with strong support auras such as Ramza and Freya really help a lot. Freya also helps because she provides the party with HP regen, which helps to +1 the orb as well. And she also batteries the party, and this allows you to have consistent damage for the entire wave 3. For the third party member, I put in Kais, and that's because the Alvaret bosses here are not immune to launch, and Kai's launch is not debuff based such as Selfie, it's actually buff dependent, and this allows you to consistently launch the bosses on wave 3 without relying on debuffs. The main damage dealer here is actually Ramza, and at the start of the fight I'm actually just doing setup with my party such as the call abilities, setting up hero support with Kais on both Freya and Ramza, and of course BT plus aura with Ramza, because later on I'll be doing a burst mode with Ramza and I want to get as much damage in that burst mode. So the summon meter will be fully charged right here, and because of this I decide to go into Ramza's burst mode next. And right before that, of course, will be the best time to use the Kate Sith LD call, so that Ramza will benefit from the call aura the entire BT mode, and then I leap Freya back into the air. Now unfortunately boss B will get a turn here, and you will have to eat an AoE HP attack, but you don't have to worry about dying because Freya does have party wide last stand, so there's no way that attack can kill you, and Freya will gradually heal your entire party to full anyway throughout the course of the fight. Now I set an Ashe LD call on Ramza and used it before the burst mode like so, mainly because I was concerned about the orb, and one of the ways to uptake the orb is to do Holy Brave damage, which will +3 the orb, but looking back it may be possible to do without any Holy Enchant, and if that's the case, another good option would actually be General Leo LD call, just for that boost to single target damage. So I'm about to pop summon mode here because the bosses are already pretty low, and I'm just trying to squeeze in some extra damage with both Kais and Freya before I have to pop summon mode, because boss A will also eventually get a turn here and unleash an HP attack, so summon mode is the way to get around that. So pretty much that's it. I did have to reapply hero support buff on Ramza since he ate through most of the buff in his burst mode, but because both Freya and Ramza has hero support, you'll be able to do massive launches inside summon mode as well and really chunk through the boss's HP. In terms of the actions remaining, I started wave 3 with my second party, and as you can see, there's still quite a lot of leeway left. There's like 10 actions more to spare, so you could use this if you finish party 1 earlier on in Bahamut and didn't get as far as I did. So anyway, that's it for this run. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, comment or subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Rufenia fight. Bye!